Chicago's sanctuary city experiment is collapsing in real time. What you're about to see isn't just politics, it's deadly force warnings, stand down orders, gang bounties, and a mayor cracking jokes while his citizens suffer. I'm going to walk you straight through it, though.
Federal agents, ICE, HSI, are officers. They are agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed and that this could end in a deadly situation. And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions. Do not box in any law enforcement officer. You are breaking the law when you do that. And you are putting yourself in danger. Following law enforcement agents around. The question is why? What do you plan on doing? It's also reasonable for them to believe that you're eventually going to do harm to them. If you ram any vehicle, especially that one that contains law enforcement agents, and that's any law enforcement, local, state, federal, county, and you do this intentionally, this is considered deadly force. Deadly force is anything that can cause great bodily harm or death. When you plow into a vehicle that contains law enforcement agents, you're using deadly force. And they can use deadly force in response to stop you.
Superintendent, how you say that? Snelling, I believe. Snelling warns that boxing and federal agents could be treated as deadly force. Excuse me, y'all. Got to get my words together. That's not a hyperbole. That's the law. And yet, while he's saying this on camera, his own department is accused of telling officers to stand down against ICE. So which is it? Chicago? Are you backing law enforcement or are you abandoning them? Let's see what came next. Y'all see right here. I'll tell y'all who this guy is. Latin King's boss, Martinez, placed a $10,000 hit on ICE, on an ICE commander. This man, wanted to play cartel, but judging from that stain in his pants, couldn't even play tough guy for 5 minutes. This is who Sanctuary protects. And while gangs are issuing bounties, ICE is still out there in the streets doing a job.
Fucking pussies! vehicle is striking anything, you're under arrest.
Protesters surrounded ICE outside of Chicago. Taqueria. I believe that's how you say it. They scream, "You can't do this." But that's literally wrong. Like, completely wrong. That's literally their job, enforcing the law. The irony? The same people chanting about community are the ones endangering their own neighborhoods. And when logic fails, you know what the left does. The left turns to identity politics, you know. Identity turns identity politics to comedy hour, rather.
I'm surprised. It's only been 10 months, so I'm a little like, whoa, we're on rapid fucking speed right now. I mean, honestly, we all knew that this was the ultimate motherfucking goal of this regime, was to get rid of all the people of color in America. We can only have people who look like me. But here's the thing. I may look white, but I am way fucking non-practicing. And I might...
First of all, how the hell are you a non-practicing white woman? That's not...
Right. That was funny. I'm a non-practicing wife. I needed that laugh. Oh, that was funny. I was not expecting that.
White, but I am way fucking non-practicing. And I might...
First of all, how the hell are you a non-practicing white woman? That's an option?
Right.
Can I be a non-practicing black person? Like, I mean, I know how to say ask. I know how to say specific. My credit score is over 750. Like, does that make me, by default, a non-practicing black person? or do I need to, like, get, like, a letter or something like that? I have questions. I have bona fide questions. So please let me know when and where ICE is abducting and grabbing these black people. I mean, are we talking about illegal immigrant black people? Because they don't count. They just, that's you. You get a pass on that one. That's an Uno reverse card. I'm all for it. I am all for ICE doing their jobs. I am all for ICE going in and grabbing the illegals and getting them out. I don't care what they look like. I don't care if they're illegal Russians. I don't care if they're illegal Cambodians. I don't care if they're illegal from Latin America. I don't care if they're illegal from Africa or from the Caribbean. I don't care where they're from. Get them, put them on a plane, and return to sender. That's really all I care about. That's what I want. That's what I voted for. Always the crazy eyes. It's always the liberal white woman, the awfuls out there with the crazy eyes. That's just who they are. If you are born and you are a liberal white woman and you have crazy eyes, at some point something is crazy is going to come out of your mouth, and we're all expecting it. Zeke Arkham, got your 6. Bye.
Yeah, Zeke Arkham laughs. He's laughing at liberals inventing the label non-practicing white woman. What does that even mean, honestly? Oh, hold on, let me get this screen shaped up for the next video. But yeah, honestly, what does that even mean? If you need to create a new identity every time you lose an argument, maybe the issue isn't ICE. Maybe it's you. Or one version of you. Meanwhile, grown adults are playing make-believe. Wow, the state governor is out here playing with fire.
Well, first of all, he uses the term, think about this, he uses the term invasion force. This fool, Governor Pritzker, uses the term invasion force to describe federal law enforcement. He is adopting the language and the narrative of the paid insurrectionists and the Antifa mobs. The invasion force were the 20 million illegal aliens that Biden flooded into this country, taking our jobs, taking our wages, filling up our hospitals, destroying God knows how many schools, and of course leading to countless rapes, assaults, and murders. That was the invasion force. President Trump is elected on a mandate to turn that invasion back, to send those illegals home. And Governor Pritzker is providing aid and comfort to the riotous mob that is physically assaulting, obstructing, impeding, and attacking ICE officers. And his latest act, declaring that there are no-go zones where federal law enforcement is not permitted, is truly an act of insurrection against the federal government.
Stephen Miller blasted Governor Pritzker for calling ICE an invasion force. He's parroting Antifa talking points while ignoring the actual invasion happening across the border. That's not leadership, man. It's sabotage. Pritzker. And if you think Chicago leadership is bad, just wait until you see the mayor's response when pressured about migrant crime.
Well, the real Chicagoans that I talk to, that I communicate.
Nah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and clean the audio up for y'all. I got this little stereo to mono. That way it's going to be, you hear it out of both ears, and then we're going to turn up the volume. Here we go.
Well, the real Chicagoans that I talk to, that I communicate with, mostly black and brown, actually, tell me that you don't seem to know the difference between illegal aliens and real Chicago citizens. They feel that you are siding with the illegal aliens over them in their communities. And okay. Sadly,
William, let's get to the question.
Let's get to the question. The real question is simply this. I don't know how to make it any more direct. An illegal alien from Nicaragua grabbed a woman on the north side last week, bashed her head into the sidewalk, knocked her unconscious, and raped her. If that had been your wife, Stacey.
Okay, all right, we're not going to answer it. Thank you. Thanks, William.
All right. Would you want ICE to deport her?
All right. Let's move on.
Yes or no?
Let's move on.
Answer the question as a man, not as mayor, but as a man. Would you want ICE to deport that rapist?
All right. Taman?
Okay,
Mayor.
That's the answer. That's the answer for real Chicago.
Mayor, sorry for being late. The traffic's bad. Maybe the feds could help.
You're not blaming me for the traffic, are you, Taman? Watch it. All right.
Mayor Brandon Johnson asked if he would deport a migrant rapist. Instead, he takes on a joke about traffic. Imagine being a victim in that city and hearing your mayor laugh off your trauma. That's not comedy. That's cowardice. Thankfully, not every lawman thinks like Johnson. Some still know what it means to actually lead.
Hello, I'm Sheriff Grady Judd. I've spent my entire adult life in law enforcement, and I have never heard of one law enforcement agency not helping another when they call for help until this weekend, when a chief of patrol, where the Chicago Police Department instructed the police officers not to run in and help their colleagues who were calling for help, who were under attack by a bunch of people clearly violating the law. That's scary. Let me give you the antithesis of that. We had a single man resist ICE agents and get away from them in our community. We sent a helicopter, a drone, K-9, and 50 law enforcement officers to surround an area, and we found that guy who violently resisted ICE, and we locked him up in jail where he should have been. If you allow anarchists and criminals to run wild in your community, people will die. People will be shot. Now let me say this. For other law enforcement leaders across this state and nation, you need to be standing up saying the same exact thing that I am. Because when you have a breakdown of the rule of law, when you allow anarchists, criminals to take over the streets and attack law enforcement officers and then not send them help, that's a slippery slope, a real slippery slope.
Sheriff Grady Judd slammed Chicago's stand down order and shows how his deputies back ICE with drones, helicopters, and 50 officers. That's the difference between law enforcement that protects citizens and politicians that protect chaos. Right there. But the gangs in Chicago, they weren't finished trying to flex at all.
So we have other breaking news that we're following this afternoon. A high-ranking member of a street gang is charged with putting a hit out on a senior law enforcement official involved with Operation Midway Blitz. Police arrested 37-year-old Juan Espinoza Martinez this morning. And according to the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Chicago, Martinez sent a Snapchat message stating, quote, $2K on information when you get him and $10K if you take him down. The Tribune reports the alleged target was Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino. A court date has not been set. So we have other breaking news that we're following this.
Man, Another Latin Kings gang leader posts on Snapchat 2,000 for the Border Patrol chief's location and 10,000 if they kill him. Murder for hire, advertised like it's some sort of garage sale. And yet Democrats scream ICE is the problem. Which is why the closing words from Stephen Miller hits harder than ever.
Is that the president is not going to allow American citizens to be raped, murdered, maimed, and killed by illegal alien gangbangers, terrorists, drug dealers, and psychopaths. And we're not going to leave our citizens at the mercy of a Democrat criminal justice system that frees serial repeat offenders to stab women in subways, to break into people's homes and stab little children to death in their beds, and to unleash this reign of terror on our citizens. President Trump is not going to stand for it.
Yep, Trump will not allow Americans to be raped, murdered, and killed by illegal alien gang members. That's not a Republican talking point. That's survival. That's what leadership looks like when your city's under siege. Chicago calls itself sanctuary, but ask yourself, sanctuary for who? Because it's not for the woman who was assaulted. It's not for the families trapped in the neighborhoods run by gangs. And it's not for the officers who were told to stand down while doing their job. The sanctuary is for criminals, for politicians who value votes over victims, and for the chaos they've chosen to protect. And that's the breaking point. You can't build a city on lies. You can't run a country on fantasy. At the end of the day, it's ICE. Those men and women on the ground who stand as the thin line between order and collapse. You don't have to like the truth, but you better respect it, because without it, you don't have a city. You don't have safety, and you don't have a country. Now, if you made it to the end of the video, put respected. Yeah, respect it. Or, respect it. Not respected. Y'all get the difference. Y'all be safe. Please go check on a friend today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.